What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol states that he made Canelo respect 175. He said, "I beat him once. I'm good. Canelo subject now closed." Of course, you guys remember when the WBA light heavyweight champion Dmitry Bivol boxed Canelo Alvarez from rounds 1 to rounds 12. And this is what he said by putting an end to the back and forth, the Cold War, I like to say, between him going to 168 or staying at 175 to take on Canelo Alvarez in a rematch, because, of course, Canelo Alvarez wanted Dmitry Bivol at 175, but not 168. And he said, how can I make... He said, how can I make negotiations difficult? Because according to Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican star said that the Russian made negotiations hard. He said, how can I make negotiations difficult? We didn't even discuss it, to be honest. Nothing. He had his dates already. And then I saw in the news that the problem was me. It was funny. I beat him once. I'm good. Bivol told BoxingScene.com. He says, I'm not a big light heavyweight fighter. I can make 168, but only for belts. Canelo has the belts, and that is why I wanted to fight him. But now we have other plans, and we follow our plans, and then we will see. Maybe in the future, I don't know when, but now I'm focused on being the undisputed champion at light heavyweight. That's more realistic. That's more of a realistic fight for me. I hope that I can fight for undisputed in my weight class, because the subject with Canelo is now closed. And let me counterpunch. Canelo was playing hardball because he knew the odds weren't in his favor. If he fought Bivol at 168 and lost again, he would have pretty much done a Anthony Joshua +1. Okay, he's the undisputed champion. Joshua was the unified champion, and he lost all those belts. That was probably one of the reasons for the meltdown. Okay, you know, because the idea of knowing I just lost back to back. I lost my belts to this guy, and now, you know, I fought him and I came up short again. So I've lost back to back to the same person. You know what I mean? And it's not really in a row, but, you know, he still lost to that person. So Dmitry Bivol is the guy that he just can't beat, you know, and it's a hard thing. This is a hard pill to swallow. It really is, because Canelo Alvarez, if he loses at 168, and then he didn't even really look that good. And in fact, he hasn't really looked good since, to be fair. Yeah, he beat Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo didn't even really come to fight. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo came to get a check, and he got that check. So he's good. You know what I mean? But as far as that goes, I don't... Dmitry Bivol, like, making it hard, he wasn't. And he just really said, he's basically calling Canelo a liar by saying, hey, how did I make it, negotiations hard? We didn't even talk. Now you're claiming that I made them hard. That's a lie. Right? So Canelo was just worried about Dmitry pulling the same thing. But I'll tell you this. Let's talk about what ifs for a minute. What if Bivol did go to 168 and he did beat Canelo Alvarez? It would be refreshing to see a guy that is actually fighting mandatories. That would be refreshing. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see if Dmitry Bivol is the undisputed super middleweight champion. Well, that opens up a gang of fights that, think about it. Caleb Plant versus Dmitry Bivol, that'd be pretty good. David Benavidez versus Dmitry Bivol. That fight's been talked about anyway, because the rumors are that David Benavidez is threatening to go to 175. Who else is there? Callum Smith is already at 175, but I don't even know if he'll fight again after the Beterbiev fight. So, but yeah, there's a lot of fights that could be made there, Dmitry Bivol, I think it would be easier for these fights to get made. But here's the kicker. Don't be surprised if Bivol beats Canelo, if the energy will change. Okay? I don't think the energy will remain the same to fight Bivol versus Canelo. For one, he's the cash cow, and for two, I think he'll be more difficult. Okay? He hasn't had a 17, 18-year career. You know, Bivol's still young. So Bivol's still out there, and he's ready to kick some ass. So, you know, I think those guys, if he did do that, a lot of those guys will probably just go back into hiding, and you know what I mean? And those fights won't get made, and those mandatories, when they do, they just won't enforce their mandatory position when Bivol gets up there. But Bivol's good, and he should be good. He beat Canelo at 175. It's just, I don't think 175 to 168 is a problem, you know, especially on how eager Dmitry Bivol was to go there. You know, a lot of people, if they're having problems making weight at 175, they're not going to go to 168. You know, you can tell the writing's on the wall pretty much when someone doesn't want to go, you know, get rehydrated or the rehydration clause or a catch weight or anything like that, because they're probably already having trouble where they're at. Okay. They'll let you know if they can make it or not. And Bivol told us, yeah, yo, I can make it, you know. So, yeah, he's ready to go there. But I think he had to set the record straight by calling Canelo a liar, because he's like, hey, we didn't even talk about anything, because Canelo knew, okay, the odds, again, are not really in his favor, you know what I mean, to win that fight. Because Dmitry Bivol with the same style, I don't see Canelo doing anything different besides hurting Dmitry, and he wasn't able to do that then. He said the punches were hard, but they weren't like knockout punches. I don't think they were better Biev punches. You see what I'm saying? I think they were punches, you know, I think he was punching hard, you know, to try to overcompensate for the weight class that he's got in with a supreme boxer and not a drunk like Kovalev. Because, of course, that's what that's who he fought when he first went to 175. An old, you know, washed up guy that was going through problems, and we heard had drinking problems as well. So you guys tell me what you think of Dmitry Bivol setting the record straight, saying that idea of fighting Canelo as of now is closed. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!